What is going on, y'all? I don't know if anybody's in there yet or not. 35 people in there. I realize some other people are going live right now, and that's cool. But just here, anyways, if anybody's up and around for a chat, it's cool. Uh, we'll hang out for a bit. If nobody pops in, we will move along. He's got 35. Sounds like Gentleman Prospector's got some stuff. Charlie, what's going on? Brockton, what's happening? Just aired that fantastic video of us up there in South Boston when we got the download, maybe on some possible sketchy area stuff. We'll have to get out there. What's going on, Josh? Josh has got some cool stuff going on here. I don't know if y'all had all seen, but I posted it on the community page. And also on his page. He's posted about those poker chip things. I definitely want one. He already printed it out, so I just gotta catch up with him. Those things are gonna be amazing. I got so many poker chips. Um, but yeah, click on this thing here real quick. When we were just in the premiere, we had Mandy become a member, and I'm like super grateful for anybody who actually wants to join and hang out with us. So I appreciate that. Hey, Lindsay, why are you not blue? But I'll remedy that situation right now. What's going on, Jack? How are you, buddy? It's ready to go, Josh. We got to figure out a holiday one of these times to get a Tuesday off. What's going on, Travis? I'm just trying to fix Lindsay because Lindsay is not blue. Let's go over here. Chilling out, yeah. I guess there's a lot of people over at GPs, which is cool. Got to get that gold. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Oh, you came in through the other door there. Unless that's Matt. What's going on, Matt? Unless you're both coming through different ones. Steven, what's happening, dude? Appreciate y'all popping in here. I don't know why I have headphones on, but I got these new ones. We'll try them out. And my thumbnail's a little bit messed up here, guys. It does say that Brockton was going to come up here, but he has had I guess he's been on call and has had a day, which I totally understand, man. I have those days too. Working for the cable company, we have on call for all of our business class stuff. Way more clear than the other mic. I don't know if it's using this mic on this headphone or not, dude. I still have my other mic. But let's see what it's actually using. No, it's using my regular mic. I just think the setup's a little bit different here, man. And I figured out some settings. But no, I get it, man. It's rough being on call, especially in our jobs. Um, stuff. I absolutely hate it. I give it away. There's this one guy, Eddie, that I work with. He's been there a lot longer than I have. I've been at this job for 16 years, and Eddie really enjoys overtime, I guess, which works out for me because I can't stand being on call. You're switching to the headphone one and see what it sounds like. Okay, I'll do that because I appreciate the fact that you even want to do that because I wanted to try it. Um, is now the microphone for their headset. Does that sound better at all? Or I can hear it if I turn my phone on, but then I'll end up getting feedback. So I don't want to do that. Does this sound clear? Or can you hear me at all? Sounds the same. Well, as long as it sounds the same and the quality hasn't gotten worse, then maybe I don't need this other microphone sitting over here then. And I can just use these. That would be fantastic. It's awesome. These things are called heavies. I actually just got them. My favorite band in the world is Typo Negative, and you can get interchangeable pieces. It's more muffled than the other one. Go back to the other one. Oh, that's a bummer that it's muffled. Maybe I can tweak some of the settings on it. I'll have to work on that one. Maybe you and I can go into a chat at some point, dude, and you can help me out. But and we're back on the other one. Does that sound better? Clear? Too loud? No, but anyway, so yeah, you guys have actually seen the past 2 weeks. Brockton and I have met up. And actually, I even got another one for another week. I don't know, Mondays have just been working really well, catching him off Cape after work. And we've just been smashing places. We were just live a couple days ago, and we were in a place called Mattapan. And man, I don't know, Mattapan kind of felt a little sketchy at some point in times. There were these dudes that there was about three of them, and at one point in time, they're kind of eyeballing my camera setup and stuff. And what's going on, Jason? Appreciate you popping in, dude. What is going on? But yeah, the kids were kind of sketchy. Wasn't really sure what was going on with them. And at one point in time, he even like looked in my camera, which I thought was kind of weird. Because his face was then on my camera if he wasn't going to get shady. But we surprisingly got a really good we got a really good communication going with people that were hanging around there. It was pretty cool. Are we good, man? Oh, you're nice on video. I see here's some stuff behind it. What's going on? Are we good, man? No. All right, cool. Next with every Thursday, Jack. That's when we're gonna do them. Dude, what's going on?
What's up, my man? How we doing tonight?
You're doing great. What's up with that? What's up with your holiday sweatshirt? We don't even have Thanksgiving yet.
I just got it. It's comfy.
Oh, okay, now I see. It's got Jack. So all right, we can excuse it.
You know, Jack is a 3-month-long event, so
That's right. So what's happening, man? How many orders have you got now? You had a couple the other day.
Yeah, I just got a couple right now. Printing one. Then I had to reprint because I unfortunately ran out of material midway through. But I got yours right here. It's ready to go.
That's sweet, man. Yeah, I think I might try to tape it off and figure out a way of painting those letters. That would look hot.
Yeah, right now it's kind of ghosted in. It looks really cool.
It does. That's awesome. I can't wait for it. Thank you.
I got a couple chips just fit right on there.
Oh yeah.
Kind of
hard fit on there. Perfect, man.
You can
as you see, I kind of got an actual desk set up now, so I can put it like right over here or something. That's sweet.
So, I'm just dropping them all, and they're sturdy. So lightweight and sturdy.
That's good.
Great way to display tons of stuff. I've been using them for relics, poker chips, large coins, whatever you got. So
right, awesome. Yeah, Jack is talking about fostering a dog. You do that all the time. How many do you have right now?
I got one. I usually only have one foster dog, but I got one.
Okay.
He's not a big fan of me. He's terrified of men, I think, but he's a good dog. Otherwise,
that's how the guy I just lost. He when I first met him years and years ago, he wouldn't come anywhere near me. He was totally scared of men. And I actually thought at one point in time that he wouldn't eventually turn around and that he was just never going to like me. But I'll tell you what, by the time he went, him and I were like best buddies, you know. You just got to give dogs and animals time, you know.
Yeah.
Even our cat, we adopted her, and the Animal Rescue League actually figured we were going to return her because she was a scratcher and a biter, and we knew she'd already been returned a couple times, and I'm like, I can't can't do that to her, because if she goes back too many times, as you know, it doesn't really end well for a habitual biter, habitual
Yeah.
scratcher.
Well, that sounds very similar to the cat that I um, adopted last year. Um, she'd been passed around home to home. No idea
Hmm.
how old she really was. We think she was about 5 or 6, but the vet said she may be older. And she was mean when she first
Yeah,
got here. Um,
100%.
and she would bite, she'd scratch, she'd hide, and I forced loved on her, and eventually she came around, and unfortunately we only had a couple months with her before she passed away. But um she's still on my home screen on my phone. I miss
Yeah,
her a lot.
yeah,
There she is right there. But
yeah. Animals are hard to forget, like
yeah.
this one. She's been having the sniffles the past couple days, so I just finally set up her first vet visit. But one of the things I'm curious about, because you were talking about age, they told us she's probably 2 or 3, and when a cat gets older, some of them will lose their fangs, like in the front,
Mhm.
and she's missing one. So either she's been had it knocked out for some reason, or she's old. And they were wrong because we think she's older because she's not putting on weight. She's staying pretty skinny. Um, and she lost that tooth, which is weird.
I just replied to Jack in chat there. So um, the rescue I work with there is Massachusetts based, but they go down to Puerto Rico and get animals off the island it's real bad down there in Puerto Rico. It's just animals, dogs, cats, even
Right.
horses just running stray. And they go down and catch them and um, get them fixed up. Sean has one of my former foster dogs, actually. So
Is he the one that's missing the tooth that he's talking about
I think
in tug of
so,
war?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm ready to do another dog, but I'm definitely thinking soon. Because I've lost 2 of my guys in the past 8 months,
Yeah, it's
and
tough.
they were both like 100 pounds, so it's literally like 200 pounds of fluff that's missing from the house,
Yeah.
and it's just weird. It's like this
This is
space that I'm actually in right now is where they were set up.
that's
Yeah,
a friend painted that for my dog that I lost a couple years ago. She great artist. She hand painted that for me when my dog passed away, my first dog. So
I'm gonna
it,
move this camera and show you too, because I did the same thing for these guys. I paid some lady to paint this thing.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, them in
Yeah.
the back seat because they loved going for rides. So that was, them in the back seat, just, the way I remember them being happy, hanging out with their tongues out, just excited to go for a ride.
Yeah, Angie had my friend paint that for me as a surprise a couple Christmases ago, and I was like,
It's awesome.
I just started bawling really because I was like, this is so awesome and heartfelt, so
Right.
it was awesome.
Yeah, we got a couple other ones of our other cats that Carolina has found at TJ Maxx, just animals that look very similar to the cats that we
Yeah,
have.
I got the other
But
picture you saw was just a painting that someone had done, but it was the same type of dog. So my mom bought
right.
them for me years ago.
Yeah. Same thing, Lindsay. One of the hardest parts about having animals though is deciding when it's their time. And both of my guys had gotten to the point where they were super old, and when it's to the point and they're 100 pounds and they can't move their rear ends around to go to the bathroom or get up to go eat, it's not fair to me to selfishly be like, nope, you got to sit there in your little
Yeah,
bed all day and be there because I don't want to let you go.
yeah,
But I think I'm ready for another cat, just because I think this one is bored, and now that she was really stressed out when the big dogs were here, and now that the big dogs are gone, she's not as stressed. So I think it might be time to get her finally another cat. She's dealt with 3 dogs since
Yeah.
she came here, and now we're down to 1, but she still hasn't had her own friend.
We recently just fostered our first kitten from the rescue. We'd always done dogs.
Yeah.
We'd done over 40 dogs in the last couple of years since 2020, I think. And
Wow.
we decided to bite the bullet and foster a kitten. And I'll say it's a lot different and it's a lot more fun sometimes with these little kittens. I was worried that they'd be peeing on stuff and not using the litter box, but the cat, he was real fun. But I thought about keeping him for a little bit, but I'm just not ready for another cat. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah, I
already have
think we're getting
2.
to the point where we're almost you already have 2?
Yeah, 2 cats,
Yeah.
2 dogs, a bunch of other animals running around the house. I don't even know.
Yeah. It's like a mini farm.
Yep, I have a farm. I got chickens.
Oh, do you? You have chickens
Yeah.
too? Wow. Are they out and back? I don't think I remembered seeing them.
Yeah, they just roam around the backyard. They got a coop back there. Need some work,
Okay.
but
Yeah, my mom has one because she has a tiny house on my brother's property, and so my brother created this little containment area for 2 ducks, and like she's got 6 chickens. But one of the ducks recently they don't know if it was a coyote got her or a raccoon or something, but something slashed up its throat, and
mm,
oddly enough, it kind of healed on its own. Like, and it was fine with it. I mean, it went to the vet obviously, but
yeah,
um, it was mauled.
chickens are relentless. I had one that was attacked by the other chickens and lost like all the skin on top of his head, and it grew back.
Right.
I don't. I don't have time for that many animals. I feel like all the time I'm cleaning up after my animals, but you know,
And then that's what you're
we
doing at
enjoy
work
them.
too.
And yeah, that's what I do for work too. So it's all the time I'm cleaning up after something.
Yeah. No, I've always been curious about this one. What is some of the most challenging animal control situations that you can talk about?
I just had one the end of August, and that was probably the scariest time in my career of 8 years doing that. That
Mm,
we work under the police department and we carry a firearm, and we are, we're not
right.
police, but we are a department of the police department. And
Right.
these 2 dogs were running loose. They'd already attacked and bitten one person, and I followed them down a couple streets over, got out of the van, and I, called to them and stuff. And these dogs, they heard me, they turned, and they ran straight at me. What's up, Brian?
Ooh, my God. That must
And
have been horrifying.
yep, I had the catch pole, the noose kind of thing, and but it was 2-on-1, and they were out for blood. They actually had me cornered up against a fence trying to bite me, and I was like Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, like with this stick, just kind of
Going back and forth.
going back and forth, and um, I ended up hitting one pretty good. You know, at that point, I'm doing whatever I can, and they ran off. They ran down the street and attacked 2 other dudes that were just walking the street.
Good Lord.
Just unintentional, unprovoked, attacked. And I got out of my vehicle and I drew my weapon. I was about ready to shoot these dogs. And like, for me, that's not something I want to do.
Right. Yeah.
But um, the adrenaline that's pumping, I'm trying to save these people's lives essentially, because I don't know what these dogs are gonna do. They
Right.
already attacked 3 people, tried to attack me. And I was very close, Jack. I was real close. And I called for police backup, and I had like half the squad show up, and we actually just deemed those dogs dangerous through the city, so now they have stricter regulations set upon them so that something like this does not happen again. But
Wow. And these are someone's animals that you gave back to them?
yeah, yeah. So it's funny,
Wow.
like we have a little bit of history with them, on and off with like loose dogs and not following regulations or nothing. But this was
Right.
their first bite, technically.
Okay.
Technically, it was their first, second, and third bite all on the
All at
same day.
once.
Yeah. So that's why
Yeah, it still stinks though.
yeah. And they're just, everybody says there's no bad dogs, and I'm like, these were bad dogs.
You
So,
know, it sounds strange, but I don't see as many animals as you do, but working in cable, I do come across people's dogs, or even at some people's offices, I'll see them. And I went to a place yesterday and they had a corgi. And I'm telling you, like, I'm not scared of other like intimidating dogs. Like, everybody that wants to think that a pit bull is a bad dog. I don't usually, I'm not usually intimidated by them. But
mhm.
this thing's bark and the way that it was aggressive with me, I actually thought I was going to be bit for the second time in my career. I'd only been bit once before. Um, but I thought for sure that this corgi was going to bite me.
Yeah. I thought for sure that day that I was going to get not just bit, but mauled by these two
Messed up.
dogs. And I've only
Right.
been bit one other time, and that was honestly, it was my own fault. I shouldn't have had my hand where I had my hand.
Right.
And I got bit on my finger here. You can't even see it. There's just like a tiny little scar that only I can see, but it was not fun just getting bit one little, like, quick, get
Right.
your hand out of my face. I would not want to be mauled.
No, well, where the time that it happened to me is I was in this house and they had known that their dog was not necessarily aggressive, but he was a protector. He didn't really like strangers in the house, so they put him in this back bedroom. Sure enough, it was a pretty easy job. They had a bad cable box, so I go outside, I go get a new one, and I'm starting to put the new one together. And a really young kid didn't realize the dog was in the room.
Mm,
Opened that room up, and it was like down the hallway, and I could hear he was coming.
yeah.
Like I knew he was coming towards me too. So I had got myself into a corner, and I put my elbows in front of me like this. And just as he grabbed my right elbow with his tooth, the owner grabbed his leash, and everything was fine. But they were like super freaking out because this is it was a pit bull breed, but I wasn't mad at the dog. I knew he was just doing his job. He
Yeah.
wasn't coming out to mess up. He didn't attack anybody else. He attacked the stranger in the house like he was supposed to do. But they were freaking out, like, please don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. I'm like, ma'am, I'm not going to say anything to anybody. I understand what's going on and it's fine. So we just I took care of it, got the new cable box in, and have a nice day.
Yeah. I mean, as long as nobody, no harm, no foul, as they say.
Well, and that's what she was saying. Is she's like, he doesn't do this, and I'm like, I get it. He's protect. They had young kids in the house, and the young kid was the one that opened the door up. So to him, maybe that was a message from the kid of, hey, I need protection, like come out. So I wasn't blaming the dog for doing its job.
Yeah. So, I saw you got out magna fishing a few times this week, or, you got some good stuff coming up. I know you just put
Yeah,
out today's video. I haven't got a chance to watch today's video, I'll be honest, but
today's video, yeah, I we've been lucky the past couple of weeks on Mondays. My son has had the past couple of Mondays off, so I've stayed out late and met up with Brockton a couple times. Um, and we met this week for this week's video was in South Boston. And we met some really shady dudes, like, because we're trying to like find out information about possible like Whitey or Winter Hill gang types areas. So we were kind of creeping around South Boston, and these guys kept coming up to us. They're like, the guns are on the other side. We're like, what? What do you what do you mean the guns are on the other side? Like they knew exactly where to go. They were telling Sean different areas. They were pointing out different parts of the river where we were. I got to go back. We weren't able to hit those ones because it was just a little drive down the street, but there were some shady dudes up in South Boston.
Yeah. I've always, a couple of times when I've been magnum fishing and like in Brockton, it's Brockton, high crime, no denying it.
Right.
Someone's like, "Oh, did you find the gun yet?" And I'm like, "What gun?" Like, keep talking, and they're like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure someone threw one in there, a while back." And I'm like, "Well, I haven't found it yet, and I haven't found one, not in Brockton, anyways, but
Yeah.
they're there."
I would say it's pretty fair to think that there would at least be one or two somewhere in the water in Brockton.
Well, I know where one is. I haven't been able to find it because the area is so weedy that
Right.
it's tough to get through the vegetation. But yeah, they're out there. I've fished just about every waterway in Brockton. I have not found one yet.
Everyone in Brockton keeps their guns.
That's the thing, man. Like, Massachusetts has such strict gun laws, and like they're expensive no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Like, and they're hard to get, on the legal side of it. I know if I bought one, I wouldn't be throwing it in the river. Like,
No.
but I'm not, doing bad things with it either. So,
Right. No, I don't even have an FID, which I mean, at this point, magna fishing, it might actually help to get one because if we find something, you know, I don't know. What is the deal? Do we need to have an FID or an FID and an LTC to bring something home?
when I got my first gun earlier this year,
Yeah.
the handgun, the cop said to me that I can have it back in a year, as long as I have an LTC to transfer ownership to me. So I would assume if you are thinking about getting one, just call or go all the way and get the LTC. That would be my suggestion. Right. FID is okay. From my understanding, I've had both. It's been a while. I had an FID as a kid.
Right.
My understanding that an FID allows you to do two things or a couple of things: buy ammo, buy a gun, and transport that gun from your home to either the shooting range or, a hunting field, whatever you're going to.
Somewhere where there's business to do with the gun itself.
Right. The LTC lets you do all those things, but also have the gun or, whatever on your person, concealed or otherwise. And there's, probably a few other limitations. So like you might be able to get away with just an FID, but honestly, like the cost and requirement differences, you might as well just go all the way and get the LTC.
Okay. That's something to think about because, even though we've deemed that gun I grabbed with you was probably a pellet gun, I still would have really liked to have kept it and been able to bring it home,
Yeah.
Because that would have just been cool, and I just got this past week a pressure washer, so could have just blasted it and cleaned it up,
Hello.
Oh.
I got
just
it.
Came back.
Hi.
I got it marked in my calendar, the little blue mark on the 15th.
Yeah.
May 15th, 2025. It says call the police.
That's when you can call. What do you think?
That is 1 year to the day.
I think I'm either gonna do like visual and art design.
She went and toured a school today. She's thinking about going to a tech school.
Nice. Those are my three options.
There you go.
And I did some whole question like it was really good.
Yeah. I kept telling her like how good that would be for her to, I think a tech school is way better than the traditional high school because it actually gives you some sort of skill to come out with.
Yep.
You know,
I went to a sort of technical school. Yeah.
Yeah, I went there for my freshman year. I went to the tech school in Harwich. But they recently, over the past 5 years, they literally have destroyed it and built a new one on site that is totally like
It's huge.
state of the art, and it's enormous. So for her to be able to get into this school would be amazing,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I'm going to get in
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't.
because me and my sister went in, and then that means that I can go in because they know my sister. And
Oh, well, maybe that's it. Yeah, her sister went there, so maybe that's a good way of getting in because you've already got a legacy.
Yeah. Although the school that I went to, a friend of mine, like his two brothers went there, and then he went there, and then
Right.
his other brother applied, and they didn't put him in.
That's
He's
so
like,
weird.
everybody in my family has gone here. They're like,
And
well,
you're telling me no.
not you.
That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, but it was funny. The tech school was much different than what she's getting now. God, I mean, just because we're older or I'm older. But the tech school itself used to actually have a smoking section,
Yeah.
and it wasn't for teachers. It was for the children. It was so much different back then. I don't know. It's not like that at all now. It's again, what school is she at? Nauset. Um, yeah, but it's also nice too because if she goes to the tech school, the tech is regional, so the buses will go to multiple different towns. And right now, she goes to school that's probably a 25-minute drive each way to drop her off, pick her up, then come back home. If the bus will come and pick her up in the front, that's perfect.
Yeah, my bus was like an hour ride, and I was one of the first stops during high school.
Oh.
I would just get on the bus and sleep. Like,
Yeah.
I was first one picked up and last one dropped off because it was reverse order, and I was just like, because the buses were from my town, like they
Right.
only serviced my town, but there was a bunch of kids all over the city that would be picked up, and then they'd have to drive the 30 minutes, wherever. So it was a long bus ride, and I was like the second or third stop on the route, and then pretty much the last one off. So
Yeah.
long bus rides, but the schooling, is worth it.
100%. I mean, that's why, Jack lives in the town of Harwich and goes to Monomoy, but we live here in Yarmouth, and I drive my son, or, he's driven back and forth to school to Monomoy, and he's been doing that since the middle school, and it's because it's a better school than the one that's here in town. The one here in town, just for him, they weren't teaching him correctly, and he was just left behind, and they were just kind of pushing him through, and he even was like bullied and stuff, and they never did anything.
Yeah.
His first year in Monomoy, though, was the first and only year that him and his brother shared the time in the same school. So because the high school started at 8th, and needless to say, that bullying stuff carried over, but then ended really quickly because my other son was a senior, and he made sure that the kids picking on Colin knew not to do it again.
That's good. Good for him. Sticking
And
up
it
for his
hasn't happened
brother.
since. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he didn't get in trouble. No one got in trouble that day. I think we actually went out for ice cream.
Good for you, Dad.
Yeah, I don't teach my kids anything, like to be like that. But when they see somebody, whether it's their brother or anybody else, getting bullied and picked on, you gotta step in, So, yeah, we went for ice cream.
Yeah,
What do you
so
got going on, man? So what?
I met up with the rest of the Silver City gang, Silver City Saturdays, and what was that, on Tuesday? I think Tuesday or Wednesday. We did some metal detecting out in the woods. Some Good stuff coming up this Saturday, man.
Awesome.
We hit a 1700s cellar hole out in the middle of the woods that Chris got permission for, Wicked Digger. And
Okay.
like it wasn't like hit after hit after hit. Like the signals were sparse. But when you found something, you found something. Like we got some amazing relics. Like I said, this is a 1700s property and we were pulling stuff from the 1700s. I got dated 1800s. I've got early 1900s artifacts. And I will say that Wicked and Silver Assassin had much better finds than myself, but I definitely had some amazing finds, some bucket list kind of things for me. So
I definitely got to hook up with any of you guys at some point in time and do metal detecting again. I mean, I went out maybe 3 times with mine, and I still have yet to really learn anything about it. You know what I mean? But I was thinking it's probably a good time for the beach because everybody's gone. So I might just do that this week. Instead of going off Cape, just go walk around the beach for a couple hours and see what I can find.
Yeah, the beach is funny because, like, you know, like you said, nobody's out there right now, so it's nobody to bother. But also nobody's out there, so nobody's losing stuff, you know?
Right.
It's kind of like that catch-22. It's like, you know, I could go and maybe find something, or I could go and maybe find nothing because there's nobody out there. But you could also find stuff that hasn't been found yet because there's no one in your way.
And that's it too, but we actually do have a lot of metal detectorists here on the Cape that hit the beaches. Almost every day you can go down to a beach and see somebody. You know, and I hate to say it, but it's a lot of older guys like ourselves where I used to look at them when I was younger and go, I'll never be one of those guys. Look at those
old guy hobbies,
lonely SOBs out there. And now I'm like, let's go, dude. Go grab your detector, go grab your magnet. Yeah, feels old.
We had a lot of fun the other day out there digging, and we're gonna go back to, and I'm not sure when, but we're gonna go back. It's a very large property, and there's a lot to explore. And we were staying pretty close to like the cellar hole area,
right?
But every time we'd spread out, somebody would find something, and we'd all run over to go see what it was, and then like we'd start from that area and move out. And then we'd find something and everybody would go over to this side, you know? So it was like,
right.
But it was a lot of fun. But it was tough ground to dig. It was very, very rocky. So you really had to work for it.
Right.
Ooh, lobster lice.
It's so dry. Yeah, Jack's family owns some boats in Harwich that run at us. I met Jack one day magna fishing in Saquatucket Harbor in Harwichport. Like literally right near the slip where his ferry is, his family's ferry. They have one that goes from Harwich right over to Nantucket. I'm not sure if it goes to Vineyard too, but yeah. That's how I met Jack, and that's how Jack made his way in here.
Well, welcome. That's awesome. It's good to meet like the local people when you're out. You know what I mean? Like you always have those people that pass by and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" You know, you're like, "Oh, magnafish," and they're like, "That's great. I don't want to talk to you." And they just keep walking. They're going wherever they're going. But you know, sometimes you get people that are willing to hang out and talk, and now they're here in your chat. You know.
I think Jack even has a magnet too. You know, he's younger and he goes to the high school with my son. He's like a year younger than my son.
Nice.
But yeah, talking about you know, passersby, when we were in Mattapan this week, which was it's kind of rough where we were. I mean, it was right where it was right at the Milton and Mattapan line, and there was an orange line bus right there. So you're getting people running by trying to get that train or bus or whatever. and they were actually way more interested, way more cordial to talk to. And I mean, I left a lot of the conversations in my video because some of them were so good, like
Yeah.
just, I don't know. That's part of what I like about magnet fishing too, is just talking to people that don't know about it and they're just genuinely curious. But you can tell within a second if they're willing to listen or they just want to ask a question because they're curious and they want to move on.
Yeah. I'm always weary. Like I usually, if someone's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I usually shut my camera off because, like, I don't know. You never know what they're gonna say, and like, obviously, I can cut it. I'm not live,
Right.
But like, do I really want to have that interaction on camera sometimes? And sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can usually tell, if it's going to be a good conversation or not. I'll leave it on.
Right.
I think it's going to be a good one, but
I leave my camera on. I've actually got quite a few batteries for it. And I've noticed lately when I have left it on, especially when I've been out magnet fishing with other people like yourself and Brockton, I'll actually get better moments. Like, because there is like these little behind the scenes stuff that, you know, you wouldn't normally have caught as you're setting up each shot,
Yeah. I had my camera running a few times this week out with Brian and Chris, and
Right.
the behind the scenes moments that you're talking about are great, but when we're all together and we're all excited, out comes the Boston swearing like a sailor, and I'm like, I gotta edit all of this.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
But
like, I
still,
can't be dropping all
I
these
left a
F
couple
bombs
in
in here.
yeah, I've just in the program I'm using Power Director, I've set up like all my favorite sounds. So I just keep one beep that's ready for censoring and I'll just drop it down and beep everything out. Cause sometimes it just, I don't know, the banter is too good to delete.
Yeah, I just I'll just cut that little
Yeah.
section of audio and then just mute it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'll do too, is I mute it and the beep because then I don't know.
I tried doing some
Even though
sound
we're not
effects when I was
necessarily,
editing, and I don't think the sound effects were working very well on my editor today because they just kept not playing. And I was like, I had all these like funny animal sounds to put in there, like cats meowing and
right.
all these cows mooing and stuff, and it just wouldn't work. I was trying to have fun with it, but it was all right.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah. Mattapan was interesting though. It was, I got so much stuff there and I'd love to go back to that spot. We had tried two earlier in the day, me and Talia. Um, and one of them, the ridge itself, the cement was way too high. So I'd have to like stand on it. And it was also really shallow and it didn't look like there was anything there.
Mm.
So quickly left that spot. And then I went to like this Neponset Trail, which is just a walkway bridge. And I did actually find a couple things, but it was way too metallic and things were going wrong real quickly. So I got away from that place. Me and too much metal on a bridge, it's going to get stuck. So,
Hey, Mattapan's
um,
not far from me. I can get that.
well, we actually ended up getting it stuck
Ugh.
On that one, but we managed to get that one. I can't
Yeah,
afford to keep losing magnets.
it's such a risk that every time you throw the magnet, that you could possibly get stuck on something, whether it's a tree branch under the water
Right.
or rocks, metal, whatever. And it's just the bridge. Every time I throw, I'm like, this could be my last throw with this magnet.
Right.
Actually, the first time that
Jason,
I went out with the magnetar, when I got it brand new, second throw, and I got that
yeah,
thing snagged on something, and I had to go way down shore, like down river, and pull, and it still didn't want to come. I was very thankful to get that out of there, and I was like, this is the second throw with a $300 magnet.
right. No, I had the Helios get stuck for the first time at a very small river just right down the street. And I think it was my first day out with it. And I was like, I'm refused to lose this. So
Right.
I went in. I mean, I went Bear Grylls style took off everything because, if it's cold out, you got to have warm stuff to get into.
Yeah.
And it was horrible, but I saved it. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I ended up losing it to Wareham. Wareham has not been good to us, so I'm pretty much just going to write off Wareham from here on out.
I think if that time that I went swimming in Wareham for my magnet, I think if I had swam out a little bit more, I could have got it. Because when I went out with my friend in that boat, we had it just came right loose. Like there was you just had to pull it from that opposite direction, which we didn't have at that time.
Right.
But there was a bit of a current that day. Thankfully, it was a nice warm day, and the water was actually pretty nice. But that's the first time I've gone swimming for a magnet, and I don't like the water. Honestly, I don't like dark, fast-moving water. So, but we got it back.
Yeah,
not going back there.
The one I went in, I mean, it was pretty much like hip deep, but I couldn't see what was under me. And I think it was one of the first few videos that I had created. And then as I'm walking and I'm kind of off camera, but you can hear I slip and you go, because I literally went all the way up to my shoulders in water. And it took all the breath right out of me,
Yeah.
But I got it.
So,
but Jack, how do I choose where to go? Depends on the day. Do I have time? If I have time, I'll literally investigate a bridge, go to Google Earth, and look at that one bridge, but I'll also have a couple backups in case, something maybe that is 15, 20 minutes away. So that way I don't completely waste a day. Like going to Mattapan. I tried 2 spots before we finally got that last bridge where I should have gone to first because we could have been there all day.
Yeah, Google Maps is going to be your friend, Google Earth, whatever. Like some days I'll get bored and I just open Google on my computer or my phone and I just start like swiping around. I find a river and I just follow it until a road crosses it. And then I zoom in, bring the little yellow dude down, drop him on the bridge and see if it's fishable. Does it have a sidewalk? Does it have a fence around it? Is it all dried up and nasty, or is it, looks clear, and then I just drop a pin on there. And then when I'm, after I drop the kids off at school, I just open my phone and be like, where am I going today? I'm like, I got a couple hours. Where do I go? And like,
you've got 10 places.
Yeah. And Google is good. Like, so this is my phone.
Wow, you've got stuff all over the place.
All of those are either bridges or something to detect from or magnafish from, or they're parks to detect at. And I haven't done all of them, but there's always that option. Jack, I'm from Brockton, but I'm not the Brockton Magnafisher. So yeah, like I just sit here and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna scroll this way and I'm gonna scroll this way, and I'm like, oh, there's a good bridge. Like, let me zoom in, and like I've even got stuff way out in Western Mass, like that I'll probably never get out to.
Yeah, I don't mind driving, dude. I'm wondering if there's a way that we could create some sort of like shared map that has pins of places where we've like been or not been, and we can actually like color code them to say that they aren't great ones,
We could definitely do that through Google whatever Drive.
Right.
You can make a shareable map like that. If
Okay.
you want to do that, we can look into that and do that. And maybe put it on your website, the Magnet Fishing
the
News
media one.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Absolutely. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with that site. Every now and again I just go and I'll find a couple news things and post it on there. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be watching like TikTok or something and I'll be watching a video and it's just like down. It's like, oh, I'm driving over this bridge, like the bridge that you and your son got kicked out of in Lexington or wherever that one was.
Yeah.
I
Right.
actually had that I have it on my map, and I had seen it on a TikTok, and it was like, here's this most famous bridge in the world, and I was like, all right, keep talking, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up and I pinned it. Like, I don't know if I'll ever get up there, and now I probably won't because you already got kicked out of there. But like,
Oh,
that's a
they
pretty,
tried to kick us out. We
yeah,
didn't go. Oh, that one, Northbridge. Yes. I
yes,
thought
yeah,
you
the
meant the
North
other
Bridge.
one where the guy tried to kick us out.
Yeah, not that guy. No, screw that guy.
No.
Um,
Yeah. No, but Northbridge, you definitely can't because that's a historical completely. I get it. We knew we were pushing our limits, but I figured I'd try. That second
that
bridge where
was,
we ended up finding the two guns, that was my intended bridge to go to.
yeah.
But we just figured we would try and see how far could we go.
There's actually
Hey, Tomcat,
a town
see you snuck in there.
called Southbridge, which has a very large river running through it with lots of bridges. And I had to go up there for some work training this last year.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I didn't have the time to like magnet fish while I was there.
Right.
But it's on my mind to go back someday when I don't have time restraints for picking up children from school and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
because
Good
it's,
luck.
yeah. But if I ever happen to be out that way on vacation, camping or something, or like another work
Right.
training, I'll have that done. And I just pinned it right now. So like that's as easy as it is. I was thinking about it. I looked it up. I hadn't pinned it, so I pinned it. And there's like a bunch of little bridges in that area that you could fish from. And like I'm looking at the map right now. There's like 4 or 5 within walking distance.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
if
that's awesome.
we get a
What was I
time, we
gonna
should
say?
definitely head out that way sometime. It for you,
What
unfortunately,
town? What town was it again?
Southbridge.
Southbridge.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half for me, so it's a longer, much longer drive for you. But
Yeah, but I don't care.
yeah, um, right?
Yeah, but what I'll do too, and this is something that you could do, Jason, is go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia has a list of like you can just punch in like historical bridges of New Hampshire or whatever, and it'll show you all of them. And you can click on each individual one. It'll tell you the history of it, and then it'll tell you the address. So you just drop the address right into Google Maps or Google Earth, and boom, that was how I found the Mattapan Bridge. That was my intention the whole time, but I figured I would hit those other ones beforehand to see what there was.
I've got
But
in
that
my
bridge was
glove
old.
box. If you're in any New Hampshire like rest stop or whatever, there's a nice laminated map. All the old covered bridges of New Hampshire, and I've got that in
Hmm.
my glove box. I visited a bunch of them when we were camping up there a couple of years ago, and a couple of them I was like, "Dang, that might be a good spot to magnet fish." So I just kind of kept the map in my glove box. Remember up that way, you know.
Now, what would you do with a covered bridge though? Because a lot of them are covered. So, I mean, will you fish from them below? Is that
You
what you're
could.
thinking?
Some of them have like a pretty nice stonework, sides, and I feel
Right.
like you could probably fish from the edge, but it would be a nice thumbnail
Okay.
for sure. Magnet fishing at
Absolutely.
the most beautiful covered bridge in New Hampshire during leaf
Yeah.
season, like, um, but yeah, like
Yeah. I've been
that's a
up to
great
different
place to
areas.
start.
Like, yeah.
You know? Even if you
It,
don't fish from
Google Earth
that
is your best
covered
friend.
bridge, you can still grab that map of bridges, and that'll point you to areas, nearby. Obviously, there's
Right.
there's bridges and water, and you know, um, you know, Yeah, most of them have walking paths to go down and around them. So, like, you can just
True, Jason. I don't know. I don't see covered bridges every day, so I don't know what they look like on the outside. And the couple I've passed, I could swear I didn't see any way of getting on the outside of it.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about, where you guys were just at metal detecting something, Chris from Chris Michaud. He was talking to me about he uses LiDAR maps up in Maine
Yep.
to find old cellar holes in the woods or like old bottle dumps or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm starting to look into, is to figure out how I can get LiDAR maps and find some old holes, because I'm sure here on the Cape there's probably stuff in our woods all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sure. You just gotta make the trek, you know. We
Yeah.
drove
Well,
we drove out to the woods. There was a driving trail, but it was not like half of it was kind of like crushed cobblestone, and the other
right.
half was like rock crawling. And I was like, I'm glad I just replaced the suspension on my car
Yeah.
and didn't decide to take the wife's Prius today, because I would not have gotten halfway here.
Wow.
So
I just put new shoes on mine, so my car can go just about anywhere now. But yeah, I'd like to go hang out with Jason too. I did meet Jason that once, and that was when the cube got stuck. So that day went sideways really fast. He tried to help me rescue it, and he had stuff to do too. He couldn't wait around for me to rescue my magnet.
yeah,
But he
that
said
was in New
recently it's
Hampshire,
still
right?
there. It's still there.
That was like
Yeah, New
Salem
Hampshire,
area.
Vermont line.
Yeah. Okay, Vermont, New Hampshire. Yeah. Well, if I'm ever
Yeah, we
going
can
up that
actually
way
probably.
again, just drop me the
I
pin, and
wonder.
you know
Oh
what?
yeah, 'cause you're kind
Send
of
me the address, and I'll pin it on my map as Nate's Lost Magnet. And
Lyman Bridge. I'll see if I can find it. I know the name of it. Yeah, it was in. Okay, it was in West Lebanon. Lyman Bridge in West Lebanon. Spelled like this. It's still there, Jason says.
okay, I see it. Yeah. What's the bridge it's called?
Oh, there we go. Oh, West Lebanon. Okay, I typed in south, but it's west. Jason's right. He lives up there. I wouldn't question him.
Lyman Bridge. Is that the name of the street? Lyman Street?
No, it's actually Maple Street.
Okay, I'm looking at it right here. I'm going to pin it. Starred places.
Know what? Yeah, that's why I deleted my comment, dude. Wasn't right. I'm gonna also go find Shane's link too, because it's almost getting pretty
Yeah, it's
close to
almost time
Shane
for bed.
time. Bridge goes from New Hampshire to Vermont. Yeah, that's why Jason, when we were there that day, we were stuck, and I had my not van, I had my car up on the curb, and so we had a cop from both sides come by because no one knew what to deal with. The fact that we were there, but obviously there was no trouble.
Yeah. I've got
Let's
bridges
see.
marked in New Jersey and Pennsylvania from when I drove out to New Jersey for a metal detecting thing. And I'm
Oh,
like, I'm
really?
probably never coming back here, but I'm gonna pin this bridge because it looks awesome. But you never know. Like, I have a bridge pinned in New York somewhere that I found a TikTok about, that every year they have a banjo throwing contest to see who can throw a
What?
banjo the furthest into the river. Yeah,
Where is that?
it's in New York somewhere. And like, they used to just do it.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Go pull out a bunch of banjos out of the
Yep,
water.
there it is. It's on Long Island. And just look up like New York banjo toss, and it's just a thing that started, and they take banjos, literal banjos, and just chuck them into the river to see who can get it the furthest or something like that, and it's completely unhinged. Now they tie ropes to them, so they like reuse the same
So they can pull
banjo.
it back.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
how many banjos are under there that are not, were not tied up by ropes?
Right.
There's
I'd
a
love to
there's a
find a
trail in Lebanon that goes 50 miles to
banjo.
Concord, New Hampshire.
You'd win what, dude? Oh, at a chuck and banjo competition?
Banjo
You can
toss?
throw a banjo the farthest, Jack? Is that what you're saying? I don't know if I could create that event, though. I don't know if I'd even want to try chucking a banjo.
Like the bike trail.
Oh, yeah. Like he's talking about. We do have a trail here, too. The one thing that sketches me out, man, is I'd like to hit a lot of ponds, but most of our ponds are like swimming ponds. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of trash, or else people would be stepping on it. So I just don't know the places that I should go with these ponds, or should I find ponds that are out in the middle of nowhere? Because were people actually there or not? Am I going to find anything?
Yeah, you never know.
But we have one right back here in my house that I've debated on just trying one day, because there is a public easement for us to go on, and it's not a swimming hole.
Yeah.
It's just a pond, and I have a feeling there's stuff in this one, and it's right behind my house.
Yeah, do it. Could be the shortest commute you ever had.
It would be amazing.
So yeah, next time you're up in
Walk
this
over there with my cart.
next time you're up in this area, let me know, and I'll get you your poker chip stand.
Yeah, I'll make an effort to get up there.
Goose Pond, there's a sunken car and a
A washing machine. I'm assuming. That's pretty sweet, though, dude. Let me put that on a big layout.
Yeah, it's a little hard
Yeah.
to see with this lighting, but great for the
like
poker
4 across
chips.
or 3 across.
You can fit 4 across. So I think it holds 18, something like that, 16,
That's
18.
Awesome. Looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, lightweight. Awesome. Put them on your display shelf. Look at this. I made a really cool like rainbow one. It's like,
oh, that's neat.
Different colors.
Now, once you figure out how to do it more, can you actually do like printed colors? Like say someone wanted to do lettering that was different color, or do you have to paint that afterwards?
Not with my printer that I currently have.
Okay.
At some point, I would like to upgrade my printer to have a dual color printer, and then I could have, the letters be a different color and make them really stand out. But thanks for watching, Jack. So
Absolutely, Jack. We'll catch up with you soon.
But I've got this little one here, and you can really see, that's just that's just looking in.
Pops.
So it lays flat, so it's not going to get in the way of anything, but it pops. Yours pops much better in person than on screen, but
okay. Thanks,
yeah,
Jack. Appreciate it.
But if anyone wants one, send me a message. Whatever color, whatever font you want.
Yeah, I may even. Yeah. I'll figure out a way to get there. It's not like you're really, really that far away.
No, and if I got to, I'll throw it in the mail for you.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I'll send you some bucks too for that. Send it in the mail. But
yeah, I gotta send.
I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, we'll head over to Shane. So
awesome. I appreciate you coming by to chat, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate the 4 people that hung it out here. Was a light night, but it was cool. I like these chill nights where we can just randomly talk about anything. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate you, dude.
All right.
We'll talk to you later on. Adios.
See ya.